Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to go over my top 10 best slip joints that I have from 2023. We got some budget and we got some premium ones as well. We'll get started with the RoseCraft blades, a Looseahatchie. Check this out at Blade Show, and for the price, it's a difficult one to beat. 58 bucks. You have this bourbon bone. I think that's the dragon scale on it. A steel cover. Got a flute on both sides. Very clean, no gaps. Everything's nice and tight, fitment. You can pinch to open, but it does have a long pull on one side. This particular one is a clip point. Nice satin finish, D2 steel. Nice crisp half stop. Flush in the half stop position, and then the pop is good. Walk and talk, I can't really put a number on it. I'm not that good at deciding that type of thing, but I would say it's definitely not spongy. It's got a nice crisp walk and talk, at least mine does. And overall, I think it's a good size. And like I said, for 58 bucks, especially if you're just getting into slip joints or you don't want to drop a whole bunch of money on slip joints, this is an outstanding way to dip your toes in the market. Number 9, we have another RoseCraft blade, and this right here is Beavercraft Barlow. It has smooth or like polished bourbon bone, stainless bolsters, and you have the RoseCraft logo on the bolster, single flute, nice and flush, everything's nice and clean, no gaps. This one's a little bit easier to do the pinch because you have more blade exposed. You have a half crescent nail nick, nice crisp half stop, flush in that position. And this one's not as snappy as the Looseahatchie, but you know, it's still got a nice, pretty positive walk and talk. This one's also in D2 steel. Nice satin finish on them. They come pretty darn sharp. Nice little top swedge there. This one's a little bit cheaper at $55. I'm guessing because it doesn't have the extensive milling like the Looseahatchie does. Number 8, we have the Real Steel Barlow, and this is a pretty cool one from Real Steel. You have G10 scales on this with a full bolster, double flutes on both sides. This one actually has a pocket clip, which I like. I know it's modern traditional, but pretty much all these are, besides the last two. Reversible clip, you can see the little holes there, nice and centered. This one I can just barely get the pinch grip. And the half stop is in that position. It's like a 3/4 half stop, I guess you could say. And you have a nice pin-shaped blade, drop point, whatever you want to call it. N690 steel on this. I like the size on this one. Now, that pocket clip, being this is a narrower handle, that pocket clip, if you're really pushing hard into something, you probably would feel it. But your normal day-to-day task, it's fine. My walk and talk is a little bit spongy on this one. It's not, you know, as snappy as those RoseCraft blades are. Got a nice little sharpening tool on this one. Nice and grippy G10, and as you can see, there's no pivot. These are quick change scales. They offer other scales. You can get this in the ivory G10 as well, and you can also get it in a clip point. The drop point, for some reason, at most places that I found it, is 60 bucks, and the clip point is 48 bucks. But I've enjoyed it. I loved this. Is probably my favorite blade shape right here. I love that blade shape. I just think it's sexy and it's very versatile. It's easy to get it down on the things. And then you have a good bit of straight edge to cut in-hand stuff. They just perform really, really well on all the testing I do on the channel. And number 7, we have the Boker Coffin. And this right here is a Chuck Gradatus design. I always butcher his name. It has blue canvas micarta, nice and contoured. This one also has a pocket clip. Hence, that's one of the reasons why I carry this one a good bit. Now this one, I can't pinch it, but it's not super difficult to use that long pull. You have a decent snap to the open. And then you have this little indent right there. I think it's supposed to have that coffin shaped look. That blade, once again. And this is the first slip joint that I've ever owned with a CPM MagnaCut steel, and I've done a good bit of testing with this, and it's held up really well compared to most of my other slip joints, besides maybe a few. You do have a nice half stop there. It is a little spongy. Nice when you're open, full open is nice, positive click, but the closure is just a little spongy. We have one coming from QSP. This is the exclusive traditional pocket knives Hedgehog. They all have some version of camo carbon covers, titanium bolsters, double fluted, dual long pulls on both sides. You can easily pinch this one open. Those scales are nice and contoured. Everything's nice and tight fitment. There's no gaps. There's no voids in the carbon fiber. They got a lanyard hole. They even beveled the hole for the lanyard. The back spring and the titanium frame all meet up perfectly. Absolutely no gaps. The centering is dead perfect. And one reason why I carry this one so much, look how thin that hollow grind is right there. I think it's 15 thousandths behind the edge, and it stays that thin probably to where my fingernail is. I mean, you can see how thin it stays all the way up to about right there. I love the sounds this one makes, and I like the size. It's really lightweight because of all that carbon fiber. Just listen to that one. This one probably has the strongest on the close of all my slip joints. Just listen. The wax closed. Love it. My medium-sized hands, I get a nice 4-finger grip. Now, I know this is definitely not a traditional looking slip joint. It's kind of like a cleaver-shaped blade. But if you like slicey knives, this thing is so slicey. M390 steel. I've tested 2 of these now. One with all tie, with jig tie, and now this one. And they both held up great, the M390. Only thing I don't like about this one is the sharpening choil is non-existent pretty much. You can see how it's already starting to widen in the back. And if I sharpen it up, that's going to get lower and lower, and it's going to start looking funkier and funkier. I could probably fix that myself, being that the kick, is lower than that section. That is a QSP and traditional pocket knives exclusive Hedgehog. This thing's only 145 bucks. I think for what you're getting here, that is outstanding. Number 5, we have the traditional pocket knives Lake Champlain Barlow. And I go back and forth. These two get carried about the same, but if I had to give one over the other, it would be the Lake Champlain Barlow because of the size. I like the extra length on this one. It's close to the same size it might be the same exact size as the Boker, except this one has the wider handle, so it fills out the hand nicely. I can pinch to open it. Very nice. You can get it in the sheep's foot or clip point. You got long titanium bolsters, single fluted. The covers on these, you can either get them in camo carbon. Mine's the Gecko camo carbon. Nice contouring on them. You can get them in, I think, jig tie and also in micarta. They got tons of options. If you're interested in any of these knives, any of the ones that are still available, I will have them linked down in the description. Most of them are affiliate links, so if you want to help support what I do here on the channel, that is one way to do so. But if not, no big deal. This particular one has a nice long, I'm pretty sure this is a 3.5 inch M390 blade, nice satin finish with a high hollow grind. It is just as thin as the Hedgehog. It's going to be hard to show that, but these two have very nice and thin grinds, so they slice so well. That nice straight edge is excellent utility blade shape, for doing fine detailed tracing out of something, or in hand cutting. You have a very powerful cutter because of that straight edge. You have the same power from heel to tip, so it's very powerful in hand. And this one has a very nice walk and talk to it. Very nice positive pushback. It's not easy to do, which I love because you don't want to close it on you. Nice half stop. Everything's flush in the half stop position, and nice and positive closure there. About the same as that Hedgehog. Let me show you in the open position between the Hedgehog. The pull on the Hedgehog is a little bit stronger. So there you go. As you can see, that if you go pivot to pivot and if you go butt to butt, you can really see the length difference. It's about, I don't know, this one right here is coming in at 7.75 inches and the Hedgehog is 6.63 inches. So what is it, a little over an inch? Yeah, love both of them. The price is just right on these. The Lake Champlain Barlow is only $200. For camo carbon titanium M390 in this size and contouring, that is absolutely amazing. And not to mention, I've gotten to meet the guys over at Traditional Pocket Knives at Blade Show and talk about some nice guys. My top 4 are all Jack Wolf knives. They're the best slip joints I've ever owned. You know, this is a good option at the $200 price point. Number 4, and it's in my Northwoods Leatherworks sheath, we have the Jack Wolf Big Bro. And I'm pretty sure this was the last Jack Wolf with micarta covers. Kind of sad about that, but I get it. They weren't selling as good as the carbon fiber ones for him, so he had to make a business decision, and I get it. You have dual titanium bolsters, fluted on both sides. Everything is perfectly mated. Just absolutely astonishing. These are hafted, meaning that whenever they put these together, they grind them to finish them, so they're perfect. So if you take them apart, you might not be able to get them back like that. I can pinch to open this like pretty much all the Jack Wolf knives almost. This one is in S90V. I think all these this year were, if I'm not mistaken. And if you've ever owned a Jack Wolf, you know they're all ridiculously slicey. And ever since he made the swap to S90, it's just been a game changer for these knives. They perform just so well. And I think this clip point looks nice. It's still a versatile clip point because I can still get that tip down on the things, unlike a clip point that really swoops up. You still have a good bit of straight edge. In the number 4 spot is between the Big Bro and the Little Bro. I probably carried this one a little bit more. I just like it a lot. And I mean, of course, they all have beautiful walk and talk. Very consistent, all of them that I've ever had. I've had all of them so far, and they're all perfect walk and talk. Number 3, we have another Northwoods slip. We have the Jack Wolf Feel Good Jack. Now this one, I like it because it's very minimal, very, very slender. And I don't love the toxic looking camo carbon or whatever that is, but you know, whatever. Contouring on all of them. This one has a very nasty warnie right here. Beautiful warnie. Yeah, this one is excellent for detail cutting. That tip, just look at that tip, how thin. Drag it across something or poke it into a bag of potato chips. This one probably has the best walk and talk out of all my Jack Wolf knives. Just listen to this one. Yeah, this one is nice. S90V steel on this one as well. Number 2, we have the Jack Wolf Laid Back Jack. And whenever he sent me pictures of this one, I was like, what? So this is the first slip joint I've ever had with a coated blade and black coated bolsters. And this is the first slip joint I've ever had with Kieranite. And this Kieranite, my camera's not going to do it any justice, but it's got that bowling ball looking marbly texture in it. All the hardware's coated, the back spring's coated, the tie's coated. You can pinch to open this. Now this is the version 2 of the laid back jack. It's got, I think, triple flutes instead of double flutes, maybe longer bolsters, and this one's in S90V. The version 1, the original one that he released, was in M390. This is a sway back pattern, but a dip up here is not, you know, it's not that bad to where it feels weird in the hand. You can get some excellent detailed stuff with this utility blade shape right there. Nice warning. Yeah, beautiful knife. And number 1, we have the Jack Wolf Vampire Jack V2. So this is the newest Vampire Jack that he released this year. I think the fluting's different again. You still have that coffin shaped handle. I went with the Nebula Fat Carbon. And the reason why I carried this one as much as I do is because of the blade shape. Oop. The blade shape, you have a spear point on this one. And a spear point and a drop point that has a low tip like that is such a versatile blade shape because the belly is not too crazy. So you can still manipulate that tip very easily without having to raise your hand all the way up in the air. And you still got enough straight edge to you know, slice through cardboard, stuff like that. This one's S90 and you got that nice deep hollow on this. Yeah, this one I've carried and used this one quite a bit. Sharpened it up, I think, twice already. Holds such a good edge, but I was cutting tons of cardboard with this the other day. Yeah. Well, that does it for today's video. Here's another shot, 1 all the way down to 10. Let me know what your favorite slip joint of 2023 was. Or if you had a few of them, let me know what they are down in the comments. I love reading those type of things. And if it's something I've never heard of before, I'll probably go check it out and possibly pick it up myself. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. And if slip joints weren't your thing, but you watched it just to support me, I also have all the other top knives of 2023 in a playlist that you can go check out all my best of 2023 videos in that little section. So, all right, guys and girls, I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.